he doesn't make me come, so I don't know.
Put that on something.
On God, he don't.
I bet valid.
On God, he don't. On God, he
Oh my God, bro, get that shit off my screen.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
Fashion is cyclical. Another man's cringe is another man's trend. Incel content took off in the late 2010s and it fell off. I haven't seen any black pill content in quite some time. I thought that nature was healing. However, I stumbled upon the reincarnated admin of incel content, in which I call ugly baiting. Kai Cenat debuted Streamer University, which showcased wasteman like Diddy G and Freaky Frost. But there was one guy I was unfamiliar with named Dabble. And after looking into him, I can safely say, at the risk of sounding very unk-s, the youths are not okay.
Hello, Dabble?
Yes.
I'm calling in regards of Streamer University.
Yeah.
With your barber and your maid
Wixon underscore cheer X1 like my own key.
Hold on.
Oh God.
Dog literally said black monkey. You can see it right here. His own chat calling him black monkey.
Cheer X1 like my own key.
Campus, you're ugly as shit with that haircut. So we're gonna have to go ahead and give you an expel letter.
Wait, you did? Wait, you did?
Have a good night. Have a good night.
You.
Why is he wearing a head torch like a mechanic? Black barbers do this so that they can see a line better. They do this. So that isn't even like a weird streamer type thing. They do that. This is my first impression of Dabble. Kai Cenat expelling him for being ugly. And since I am in grade school, I don't find it funny when you make fun of things that people can't control. Dog called into his stream just to insult, man. This isn't like a one-off bit between Kai and Dabble. This is a whole genre. A genre of specifically black streamers leveraging their looks, or in their opinion, lack thereof, for views. We could come back to Dabble. I want to talk about someone else first. This is Cuffam. Cuffam might have the worst face of all time. I am not saying that. The caption is saying that, of course, courtesy of Cockademics.
Hey, done, but somebody be on TikTok.
You ugly.
What? You can't view my face.
So Cuffam is talking through a mask in a Mickey Mouse accent.
Hey, done, but somebody be on TikTok.
You ugly.
What? You can't view my face.
Hold on, I like your hand tag, yo. Hold on, wait. I like your hand tag. Hold on, he might be fun.
Cuffam isn't the first to do this. This app is literally called Monkey. This is the same format Omegle had where you randomly assign like video calls with people and you can hang up on them if you don't want to talk to them. iShowSpeed used to speak in like a feminine voice and trap people into thinking that he was a girl and then start barking at him when the guy started to be horny. It's a whole thing. And apart from Russian rouletting random niggas beating their meat, there was a trend where you would do ratings from 1 to 10. This is a 23-year-old man. And his whole shtick is just shocking women by wearing a mask and then unveiling his face and then signing out. This man is basically humiliating himself for views. 3 immediate skips in a row because you're chopped. This man literally has a plague mask on.
I bet valid.
Zero.
I don't care how good the money is. This gotta seep into your subconscious at a particular point.
I am.
Fuck, except. Hello?
Hello.
Oh my God, bro, get that shit off my screen. Get that shit off.
This is self-harm. To be putting yourself in a position where you've internalized people thinking that you're ugly, and then now you put yourself in a position to be called ugly. It resonated with me a lot because I was the fat friend growing up. I never felt like I had much value to offer outside of like being funny. And more times than not, my being funny was at my own expense. I have small ears. In grade school, there was a gal that religiously called me Shrek simply because I was chubby with small ears. I didn't mind it because at least that meant that I had some friends. And that was when I was a child. This man in his 20s, he feels as though the only viable path for him to gain not only fame, but friendship, that's the reason why he's doing this to himself. That's already a gut punch, but then you add the racial aspect to this, and you have a whole nother kettle of fish. This is Cuffam up here. Cuffam asking, am I ugly? And then Essence replies, an image of a monkey? Oh God. You have a black man ugly baiting, and then the top reply is a pic of a literal monkey. It's minstrelsy. It's merging minstrelsy with inceldom. Except in incel logic, black men can't be incels because they're Tyrones. That brings us to annoying TV.
Hey, hold on, Jack. Come right here, come right here, come right here. Come right here. Well, go ahead, go. Go ahead and ask him the question. Go ahead.
Am I really ugly?
From the name alone, calling himself Annoying TV, you could tell that he's playing into like an antagonistic persona. I get why he does this. When you get rejected by the scene, you'll double down on your differences. That's a great way to put it. The boy that is ousted by his village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Annoying TV, Dabble, all of these folks are internalizing what a society that is designed not to see you as human. They're internalizing what they're saying and saying, okay, I'm the bad guy. Sure, let me be the bad guy. If I'm gonna be the bad guy, I'm gonna be paid for it. And sure, like he is paid for it, but it does have deleterious effects to his own psyche.
I need to do something, alright? You're gonna have to rate my man from 1 through 10.
And she was like, all right, let me see.
Let me see him.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like basically the phone was handed to Nora, and she was like, oh my God.
I want to bring back up the anti-blackness aspect. Are you chopped or are you just blacked? Black, sorry, not blacked. Duke Dennis, his whole thing is being attractive. Duke Dennis got a bigger nose than all of these niggas. But Duke Dennis isn't seen as chopped. With that in mind, what are the qualifiers? There's acceptable parameters of blackness, right? A lot of features of black women is desirable, just not on black women. You could have black-centric features, but you can't be black. And the way that colorism works for black men in particular, black is seen as masculine because black is associated with being in the field. So the darker you are, the more you're in the field. If you're in the field, that means you're strong enough to endure a lot of manual labor. And in a patriarchal society, we associate strength with something that is desirable. Why does Duke get a pass with his blackness and Dabble doesn't?
I'm gonna need to do something, alright? You're gonna have to rate my man from 1 through 10.
And she was like, all right, let me see.
Let me see him.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like basically the phone was handed to Nora, and she was like, oh my God.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Hey, send me that shit, mama.
4.5.
Oh my. Hey, but it went up from 3. It went up from 3. Trending up. Trending up, my boy.
Ain't nothing need to have you hunch over like that. Dog has subjected himself to being pilloried, jested, for likes, for proximity to Kai Cenat and AMP. So this rating game is like, it's essentially the same thing as Pop the Balloon and 20 women versus 1 man. And I want to push back against the idea that that's black YouTube or black content in general, because it ain't. It's just what people want to associate with black people. Because black people have been talking sense, but it doesn't get the same acclaim as Kai and them do. Blackness is only acceptable for consumption when it plays to a stereotype in itself. In popular media, films that depict pain or proximity to pain or proximity to danger. Think of black trauma films. Think of the whole Zeus network. However many years a slave. When the Academy does nominate a black film, it has to be a film in which it's artistically portraying the black experience as being indigent, poor, or in pain. When we deviate from that model, we don't get the same traction. I'll bring it back to us. When we make videos that isn't centered amongst ourselves in proximity to some type of pain or antagonistic opposition or oppression, it don't do well. We be making music on Mondays. That does not do as well as niggas doing wild shit. If Jessie Jenner make a video about like trans joy, that ain't gonna do as well as her making a video about what that movie that say penis to vagina. Oh God. These chopped minstrel streamers are simply profiting off their pain. The more pain they're in, the more money they get, the more proximity to fame that they get. But after a while, this humiliation has to take a toll on you.
I started straightening because I was depressed. I got single cell. I can't play sports. Certain jobs I can't do. When you born with a sickness, bro, that shit really Gucci, you feel me? I felt like I was born to be a failure. I feel like I couldn't do shit normal people could do.
If he's trying to get access into something that he can do in order to make money, Twitch might be an option for him. When you get to that point, you realize that, damn, the only time like when niggas actually paying attention to me is if I'm in pain, is if I'm being teased for how I look. Sickle cell can change the way that you look. It can change like your eyes. And a lot of people in the black community have sickle cell. Like shout out that UK film by Rapman where sickle cell was a superpower. A lot of black folks have sickle cell. But even though like it is something that like a lot of black people deal with, the stigma still persists in the black community. There's a man with a disability and you could hear the self-loathing in it too. Thinking you born to be a failure. That's what happens after years, decades, centuries of internalizing anti-blackness. You begin to believe that you're the thing that society sees you as. Bringing me to the worst of it. This is a kid. The real offenders are the parents. This child is 17 currently. The adults in proximity to him are the problem. You got Kai Sinat in his 20s making fun of him. The whole streamer community have designated this person as the jester for their community. He is being groomed. He is being groomed to look and present in a particular way so he could get access to gals. Grooming isn't sexual. Caption says, when I finally snap on bro who always complaining that there's no hulls. That is Black Boy Max. I got little cousins, but you ain't about to see me calling him chopped. How am I gonna call my little cousin ugly? Max's early 20s, 22. These babies, I don't want to infantilize them. I'm trying to lead with the empathy ethic. These are young men. Dabbo's a child. They got time to change. I don't want to denigrate these folks. I want them to hopefully at some point, because obviously nobody around them is doing it, be pulled aside. Because I had niggas that came to me, basically the elders and unks them that came to me, and you know, like, cut that shit out. So obviously nobody near to them doing that. You probably got like a lot of toadies, a lot of yes men next to them. Kai's apogee in the streaming game, nobody's gonna tell them what they actually need to hear. But yeah, exactly. This is what happens when black masculinity is formed around roasting and misogyny. And that is a bonding practice. Misogyny is a bonding practice. They are laughing about his inability to get access to women. That's misogyny. Because the idea of chopped, what is that based on? His ability to get access to gal them. So if you can't, you're chopped. And then you get vituperated for being chopped. It's still based on gal them. It's still predicated on his ability to access women. He's 17 years old, getting shouted at by a light-skinned dude. So you got a dark-skinned teenager being shouted at by a light-skinned, and you got him telling you ugly. A light-skinned nigga could never tell me I ugly. What?
You see me?
Nah, ain't no way. So we're talking about the grooming, right? You also have sexual grooming. Another aspect to this that isn't talked about enough. This is Aya. She just turned 18 and they have internet access and they are playing out a relationship online. The mechanism, the focal point of this relationship is essentially someone who is not attractive dating someone who is more attractive or relatively attractive. So you get situations like this where you basically have people saying that Dabble is passing on the chopped to Aya. Caption here says Dabble kissed Aya's forehead and she instantly got active.
The chopped saliva has entered the chopped molecule. You are slowly engaging onto the acne. Oh my fucking god. Nigga, did he give her acne?
He himself is playing into this idea that he's so undesirable that he could pass undesirability to someone else. Where are the parents indeed? Do teenagers engage with one another? Yes, sure. But not in front of thousands of people from varying degrees of age who are weighing in and perceiving them and commenting on their perception the whole time of their maturation. You know how dangerous that gotta be? To be getting that level of perception and commentary live, unmoderated perception on their commentary live, while you're in some of your most impressionable and formative years?
Dabble got bigger boobs than Aya.
No, he don't.
What you mean, bro?
It's because he need a bra. He don't got a bra. That's why they just sagging everywhere. Mine's when I take off the bra.
Kids, children, pick me them. How is it that this is still live? How has no one intervened? As a 17-year-old boy, she only a little bit older. You know the type of people inside the Twitch chat. Mind you, this is the same platform where they got hot tub streamers, but on the same Twitch, you have niggas probably pummeling, ramboing, rockying, creating their meat. Oh God. On the same Twitch platform, you gonna have a child.
Like they, you know what I mean? Like they come out, but he need a broad so they could.
These are kids, mind you, talking about things like this.
So what you most excited for today?
What y'all most excited for?
Yeah, today.
Girl, that after prom. After prom.
These are children that just went to prom. That's high school. These are high schoolers talking about after prom. How is this still up? They both minors.
I'm trying to get naked. That's one thing about me.
Really?
That after prom, I'm trying to. I want a Michael Jackson this one.
Baby, who said we getting naked?
It's killing me.
Wait, we should tell the chat. Aya is actually pregnant. We got a kid on the way. We got a kid on the way. Feel them doggies in the chat. We do got a kid on the way. Me, Aya, yes.
Oh God.
Yes, baby bump. You know what I mean? We do got a kid on the way.
The reason why this is quote unquote worthy of being watched is because the dynamic is a boy that is perceived to be unattractive with a girl that is perceived to be attractive. It's the Peter Griffin and Lois situation. The difference is these are children being perceived as adults.
He doesn't make me come, so I don't know.
Put that on something.
On God, you don't.
Why are there teenagers talking about cum? How is this online?
He doesn't make me come, so I don't know.
Put that on something.
On God, you don't.
Put that.
I'm getting old. The edit is the joke. They're making a joke on Dabble.
You think I'm a McDonald's type of bitch?
Fuck else are you?
What you mean the fuck else am I?
I blame everybody that enables this type of behavior. Not only the parents, this dude already been in proximity with Kai Cenat, one of the largest Twitch streamers. You got a kid with another kid, ugly baiting and making a parody of his own blackness. And you about to put him on a stage where he's going to be perceived by more people than he ever was able to in his own capacity. I mean, he started off this whole Streamers University debut with expelling him on the basis that he's ugly. That just sets the tone for what's going to be the main course if and when he gets to Streamer University. Making himself the butt of the joke by way of his looks, by way of his blackness. What I'm saying is this is mainstream. This isn't like some underground niche where it's extremely anti-black and it only exists on Nick Fuentes' channel or something. Mainstream minstrelsy, which shouldn't be surprising because the foundation of American entertainment is minstrelsy. The focal point of all of this, from Amos and Andy to Birth of a Nation, has always been minstrelsy. And it's not only the people engaged in it, but the people watching it. It gives license to anybody that has watched this to be absolutely anti-black towards people. Cuffam doing this right here, tweeting am I ugly, and then someone replying with a literal monkey face. The only reason why this person feels emboldened enough to do that is because that is the environment that he's contributed to by way of parodying his own blackness. He is contributed to an environment where his blackness is then made mockery of. You culminate that with Nick Fuentes reclaiming the ability to say the N-word. Shiloh, or whatever the name, the white girl that basically called a black child that was going inside her bag nigger and then able to raise $500,000. Making the gal that was in her kitchen that said nigga just as easily as she said the word the, making her a Fox News pundit that could be side by side with black scholars like Mark Lamont Hill. They're put on the same playing field. an educated black man have the same social value as a white woman that went famous for simply saying the word nigger, and they could both be on Piers Morgan together. What a time. What a flicking time. And that's telling you what the stock is on black, to the point where black folks are buying their own stock in a way to make mockery of it, because their return on investment is better to gamble on stock of blackness by way of parroting it, minstreling it, because they know that that at least plays to the already bigoted foundation of America.